This edition of whatever it is you're watching is brought to you by
Ridley Report, Ridley Report, something, 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 Ridley Report.
McCain! Obama! Obama! Obama!
So the guy over there with an anti-socialist sign, and you guys are over here kind of on the Obama side. Do you think he's out to lunch?
Yeah. There's nothing socialist about his stand.
About Obama?
No, it's ridiculous. It's just scare. It's the same thing. And people finally aren't falling for it. Look at this. This is a McCain rally. Look at all the support.
For Obama?
Absolutely.
Have you done any kind of count to see, what the difference is and what the actual numbers are for each side here today?
As far as this, no. I can tell you it looks about 50-50, maybe a little to McCain. I don't know. But I don't pay attention to the polls themselves.
Yeah. It does look like a lot of Obama supporters, considering that it's the McCain event.
Well, consider it's Peterborough, New Hampshire.
Well, yeah, that too.
Yeah, this is a liberal town in the state of New Hampshire.
But in the surrounding areas, it's
not for the surrounding areas, it's not.
Right.
But for here it is. So it wasn't going to be quiet.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to be a quiet reception.
Yeah, he's kind of coming into the against the line. What for him would be the Lions Den.
He's not coming into the good old boys network anymore.
Yeah.
Historically, this town was entrenched in, the good old boys network, and times have changed.
Yeah.
The demographics of the areas have changed.
So you're hoping that Obama will win, or?
Of course.
And do you have any concerns with regard to the fairness of the electoral process that's set up right now? That the free and fair elections and so forth.
Yes, I have a healthy concern about that, considering what happened to Al Gore.
Yeah. If and when Obama gets in, if he does have programs that some of us maybe have a moral objection to, do you think that we should be forced to pay for those programs at the point of a gun?
More specific on that.
Yeah, that's
for instance,
vague.
for me,
that's too vague for me.
Okay, yeah, for me it's the national service that I have the big objection to.
No,
creation
I
of a lot of.
agree with it. Instead of that is controversial. I'll grant you that, but I do believe that national service is a good. That's a good thing. In other words, you don't have to join the service, but I think it would be a healthy. I can see opposition to it, but I've always been for national service as opposed to any kind of draft. And if you're going to do it, have the choice of following a Peace Corps type or Habitat for Humanity.
And that's the proposal. That's his proposal.
And I think it's healthy, but I could understand a mandatory if you were against mandatory. But I myself personally.
In a sense, though, isn't it mandatory? Oh, it's RidleyReport.com. I'm a libertarian video blogger out of Manchester. So for once, I don't have a dog in the fight.
No, that's fine.
But the question I would have is, isn't it mandatory? If I'm forced to pay for that program, doesn't that make it mandatory for me?
I understand that you're a libertarian; it makes more sense. But if I can understand your objection to it, but we can't have no taxes. We can have less taxes, but without taxes and we can't choose as individuals. That's why we have checks and balances.
The price we pay for civilization.
I'm sorry.
Chief Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes.
What were you saying? I didn't get.
Taxes are the price we pay for civilization.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, folks, I really appreciate you answering some questions, relatively tough questions, and thanks for your time, all of you. I have a couple of observations based on what I saw in there. The first was that I know there was no real free speech cage in this case. The free speech zone was essentially everywhere McCain is not. Of course, I'm sure it would have been the same if it had been Obama in there. Another piece of trivia that I guess you wouldn't have caught just from watching the video. One of the couples that I interviewed, the McCain couple, they were kind of nice, and they were talking about war policy and stuff like that. Well, they were actually Ron Paul supporters. Earlier on, they had supported Ron Paul while he was in the campaign, and then eventually switched over to McCain when Paul was no longer an equation or part of the equation. Another thing I wanted to draw attention to: notice how so many of the people that I talk to, even though they might, have been voting for somebody different from me because I'm voting for Baldwin. A lot of them seem to still have that liberty streak in them, and there certain liberties that were of great importance to them. Like the young lady with the bloody U.S. outfit on, who was supporting. She said she was there to support free speech, and she said that was more. It seemed to be more important to her than Obama. There it is. John McCain's allegedly Straight Talk Express crashing the New Hampshire party. A lot of vehicles, don't know how many of them are connected. And the McCain rally itself really getting started. The Nazis, it was once said, they were good at having a party. There he is, liked or not.
Do you have a message for the Ron Paul movement? Do you have a product for the New Hampshire Liberty community? Then stop keeping it a secret. Head on over to
RidleyReport.com. Email Ridley
and purchase an ad. There is no humiliation nor privation Ridley will not endure to ensure your message gets out. RidleyReport.com